Every day we struggle to do what is right, but the Yetzer somehow always seems to get in the way. Though there are times when we are successful, we should never let our guard down, as a victory today will not guarantee a victory tomorrow, and a defeat today will not guarantee a defeat tomorrow. For the Yetzer is an ancient and skilled enemy who will strategically lie in wait as he perfects his art of war. But fighting the Yetzer is a lifelong undertaking, and in fact, one should never be sure of himself until his dying day. But in order to do that, you must learn the rules of engagement. But I guess you can say these are matters of the soul and the duties of the heart. Hi everyone, with Hashem's help, you're listening to another edition of Duties of the Heart. And if you would like to sponsor this shir for the Ilui Nishmat of a loved one, or for the Behatzlacha of yourself or someone you love, please give me an email over at gimel777@gmail, and I'll send over some information on how you can do that. So Duties of the Heart, as you may or may not know, this is like one of my top three, books in my personal journey, and I think for a lot of people's journeys. I think it is, we always think that the rabbis are not with it, and they really are. And we would think that the rabbis from yesteryear, what do they know about the times today? But oftentimes when you study the works of these sages, they had to have had Ruach HaKodesh. There's no way, because the way they speak, it's like their words are hot off the presses. It's like they could see into the future to see, what would be happening. But I guess, Shlomo Melech said, there's nothing new under the sun. And of course, with that said, if you really want to get ahead in your spiritual journey, it really behooves you to look at what worked in the past and what did not work and learn from that. The Yetzer has many tricks that he has been using since the fall of Adam. So it's funny because there's a saying that says, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. And it says, if you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. So I think that these words really, they really make a lot of sense if you think about it. You have to know the rules of engagement, but you have to also be honest and know yourself, right? And sometimes we know ourselves, we're not honest about who we really are and what we are really capable of. And I think that goes both ways, not in just what we're capable of for the negative, but what we are also capable of for the positive. And I think, when you really look at the sum of your life, if you were to stop and take account now, you will realize that the biggest person that was in your way was you. So you really have to be honest with where and what it is that you're looking to accomplish in this life. And hopefully it is, the path of Torah mitzvot. And I think that part of that is knowing what, A, what is a Jew, and B, what is the responsibility of a Jew. And if you are not willing or able to take that on, you've got some serious soul searching to do. Because the Yetzer is really out there and he's out to get you. And you really have to know the rules of engagement. So we're going to start off, and it says the wiles of the Yetzer, and it says at this point it is worthwhile to illustrate other temptations the Yetzer uses, so that you will be on guard against them. Every precious thing in the world is delicate and can be damaged. Only if you are aware of its frailties can you be alert to protect it. But if you know only the good side of something and are blind to its weaknesses, you are bound to damage it. A pious man once instructed his students, first learn about evil to stay away from it, then learn about good and do it. And it says, plow for yourself a furrow, and do not sow upon the thorn bushes. And this is brought down in Yirmiyah 4:3. In other words, first you must uproot the weeds of evil, then you can plant the seeds of good. And Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said concerning the use of false weights and measures, woe is me if I speak about it, woe is me if I don't. If I speak about it, dishonest people will learn from me how to cheat. If I don't speak about it, cheaters will think sages are not aware of what they are doing. And this is brought down in Baba Basra 89b. The Gemara then asks, did he or did he not speak about it? And the Gemara answers, he did speak about it and based his actions on the following verse. For the ways of Hashem are straight, the righteous walk in them, and sinners will stumble over them. And this is brought down in Hosea 14:10. So this is really it in a nutshell. You know, to thine own self be true. I think, most people have heard that saying. At the end of the day, I think, I've come to a place where I say, I have to just get this right? Because I feel like sometimes there's something so deep in my soul. And of course, as a Jew, this is a Gilgul, and you've not been here for the first time, you've been here before. But I almost feel like, this Gilgul was so hard. It was a very hard life that I just don't want to repeat it. I got to be totally honest with you. I am not, I am not, I really want to finish strong, if that makes any sense. I want to finish really strong. So moving on to enticements of the Yetzer, and it says, if the Yetzer has thus far been unsuccessful in raising doubts in your mind, it will offer arguments to undermine your beliefs. If you are wise to its tricks and weak arguments, it will not be able to disprove what you know to be true and incontestable. It will then beguile you and make you stray by telling, I am so pleased with your conduct, your strong faith, and your sincere devotion to Hashem. You have reached a level of piety not attained by anyone else in your generation. You have done more than enough to show your gratitude to God and His kindness and favors. So I find this statement to be true, what they're saying. And I find, I don't know about you, but I tend to see the Yetzer moving through the lips of other people who do offer these compliments, especially if you're Shomrei Torah Mitzvot. They tend to come in and they say how pious you are. Most people wouldn't do that. You're better than most, blah, blah, blah. So I find this statement to be really true. And I think probably for me, it's probably the one that I'm a little bit more cognizant of than the other tricks. So it says, the time has come for you to fulfill your worldly obligations and find favor with your fellow man. You know that they can help you or harm you, and that it's to your advantage to be well liked by people. It is a great disadvantage to be disliked by people. So try to please them and find favor with them. For didn't our sages say, if you are well liked by your fellow men, you are well liked by the omnipresent. This is brought down in Avot 3:10. And you should reply, what good will it do me to ingratiate myself with someone as weak as myself, who can do nothing to help me or harm me, as it says, O cease to glorify man, who has only the breath in his nostrils, for by what does he merit esteem? And this is brought down in Yeshaya 2:22. So isn't this correct, right? I think that, for myself, I've taken on this position that I'd rather be hated by the whole world than to be hated by Hashem, and ultimately to hate myself, because when you're not being true to who you are, you're just going to be in this self-loathing mode. You're going to act out in ways that are not, it's almost like self-deprecating when you're not true to yourself, and you just become angry with yourself. And so I've learned that, remember that song, I gotta be me, what else can I be? So I feel like that, I just have to be true to myself. Whoever likes it, likes it. Whoever doesn't like it, doesn't like it, so long as Hashem likes it. And it says, and assuming you are right, and I do have an obligation to find favor in the eyes of people, how could I possibly please everyone in my generation? I cannot even please everyone in my household, much less other people. Isn't that the truth? So it says the sages did not mean to require us to try to please everyone. Rather, they meant that if a person is admired and praised by young and old alike, and everyone is delighted with what he is doing, that it is a clear indication that God has instilled the love for him in the people's hearts and give him a good name in the people's eyes. As it says, when Hashem finds favor in man's ways, even his foes will make peace with him. And this is brought down in Mishlei 16:7. God does not do that to those who hate him. When a person is liked by everyone, it is proof that the Creator is pleased with him. and our sages were no way recommending that a pious person try to win the praise of others for his service to God. Such behavior does not befit a righteous person. Watch out for this and other temptations of the Yetzer, for it always tries to lead you in the direction to trap you in the net of hypocrisy. Wow, like that is, when you really step back and you think about that, he hit the nail on this generation, right? We are so politically correct. We will not tell anyone the truth on fear that we will be disliked by someone. Wow, that you can take that and just go all the way home. That was a great moment right there. So it says, watch out for this. When it praises you, answer it like this: you rave over the fact that I am aware of my obligations toward God. On the contrary, this gives good reason to find fault with me, since my actions fall short of what I know I should do. And even if I did as much as I know I should, would that be enough to thank the Creator for the smallest of favors he bestows upon me? After all, what is my lifespan compared to the existence of the universe? And even that length of time would not be enough to recount all the favors God has bestowed on me. So how can I possibly repay God for what I owe for them? For it says, all flesh is like grass, and all its kindness is like a blossom in the field. And this is brought down in Yeshaya 46. And as our sages said, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? And if I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? And of course, this is the famous, saying from Pirkei Avot in 1:114. So, essentially, when people praise you, and I think I just took away something again from that. People offer a praise. Really, are you patting me on the back for a job I'm supposed to be doing? You get what they're saying, and to go back to that famous saying, the last section there. If you don't do this, no one's going to do it for you. But if you're only doing this for yourself and you're not benefiting anyone with, what you learned along the way, then, what is it all for? And it's never going to be a good time. So if you don't do it now, when will you do it? There will never be a good time. It's like, you can always come up with an excuse about, I'll make tshuva tomorrow. I'll be better tomorrow. Next time, I just want to listen to this gossip this time. So it's just so fascinating. When I read this book, it must have been like maybe 11, 12 years ago. And it's just funny, it seems so relevant then. It seems even more relevant now. So it's really crazy, like I said, how the sages are able to just, really have this Ruach HaKodesh and just, nothing new under the sun, essentially. So that's it for today. And I hope we'll all be together again soon. B'ezrat Hashem.
You can follow this series, Duties of the Heart, on YouTube at Gimel Dalet 777. Click subscribe to be notified of upcoming shirim.